This podcast is brought to you by Elite Level Status Wines. My wine journey started with drinking cheap grocery store wines that were really acidic and gave me headaches. Then I switched to quote-unquote luxury, but overpriced, full-bodied wines that were really heavy and had a bad aftertaste. The inability to find the perfect wine led to the creation of Elite Level Status Wines. Elite Level Status Wines are approachable, medium-bodied wines with great flavor and minimal aftertaste. And with me being a health-conscious person, I wanted to create a wine that was lower in sugar and lower in calories than the full-bodied mass-produced wines that we always see. We currently have two wines. First is our Cabernet. It has notes of blackberry, cinnamon, plum, nutmeg, and French vanilla. Then we also have our Rosé wine. Our Rosé is going to be a flat, dry, pink rosé with subtle strawberry and raspberry flavors. Both wines are medium-bodied wines with less sugar and less calories, and they're both available on my website, elsfinewine.com. Check them out, and I hope you love it. Thanks for clicking the link and checking out the Elite Level Status podcast. Since you're here, I have a special offer just for you. It's 15% off either of my wines. So click the link below and check them out, and I hope you enjoy the podcast. Elite Level Status podcast, we're back again. Today's guest is an author, an entrepreneur, and a devoted father. He goes by Adam Miles Jr. He's in studio. Adam, thanks for coming in, man.
Thank you, brother.
Cool.
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So let's jump right into it. Give us your background. Where and how did you grow up?
Yeah, I'm actually from California.
Okay.
I was born in Northern California, Monterey. And I moved to SoCal. I lived in Palm Springs, California for a while. I went to middle school out there. I got very serious into football, and I did a little bit of background acting as like a hobby. But when sports came about, I was like, okay, I'm gonna take this football thing serious. Me and my father, my parents actually split up, and my father decided like, hey, we have an opportunity. We can move to Corona, which is about 45 minutes away, and you could play football there.
Yeah.
When I was younger, we used to watch Friday night football. You know, there were certain local teams that would come on TV, and Corona Centennial had a powerhouse team, bro.
Okay.
Matt Logan and the program that he's created over there was like top tier. So I would see all these different guys that I would watch going to the NFL, going to these high-powered colleges, and I was like, oh yeah, I want to do that.
Right.
So we moved to Corona. I took football very serious. Freshman year, I would take the bus 30 minutes away to the high school in the summer. Didn't know anybody. I was a young pipsqueak. I was probably like 5 foot tall, bro. But my skill level was pretty unmatched compared to a lot of kids my size, and even like the kids that I would match up against.
Right.
It was a really good experience. I learned a lot through sports. And so, yeah, I moved to Corona, and then after high school, I got accepted into UNLV, moved out here to Vegas.
Okay. I like that.
Yes,
I like
sir.
that. So you have multiple different business ventures.
Yeah.
Kind of walk us through each one and what inspired each one.
Yeah. So my first business that I've ever started, it was a Bag Season LLC, and it started with a group of roommates right at the it used to be called Rebel Place, a block away from UNLV.
Yeah.
I was 18, and I had 5 guys living in a 4-bedroom. My little brother was sleeping on my floor. I had my close friend and cousin. He got him to move out from Palm Springs. Like, bro, you need to get out of our hometown.
Yeah.
Like, move out, come stay with us.
Yeah.
Like, we got an apartment. And how it worked is everybody paid their own lease, so we didn't have to worry about like splitting rent and all this stuff. And we shared a common area. My close friend Jalen and our other friend Jaira, we were all kind of like had our own little buzz from different things that we did. And we all went to UNLV, and we were like, all right, if we're going to live together, we need to make money together.
Yeah.
And so it was like, boom, what are we going to do? I was like, shoot, I threw a couple parties back in my senior year. Like, let's throw some events.
Uh-huh.
And so we rent out a space. paid the DJ. A couple of us worked the door. A couple of us worked the bar. A couple of us, party started. And we did that probably 20, 30 times in the next 2 years, year and a half. Doing small concerts, doing pop-up parties and functions, and Bag Season was born. But then we kind of all outgrew that. My brother went to the Air Force, Jalen went to the Army. Jay, we kind of kept doing. He did music. I was more on the business aspect, so I started selling clothes, and I got a heat press, some vinyl. Start pressing my own T-shirts and things like that. So that led to another business that I started. Called it a different name. It was 9100 Heat, and I was selling T-shirts and then I started doing. Then I got into making custom rugs at one point. I ended up, so all of my business ventures kind of all stem from Bag Season and and I still wear the brand to this day.
Right.
This is Bag Season. Got the Bag Season T-shirt on. So,
Love that. And then what led you get into becoming an author and writing books?
Yeah, man. I actually. So at the time that I was like, I want to write a book. I think this is a perfect time. I was working as a life and health insurance agent, and I was sitting down with a lot of 65-year-olds and seeing the range from people that planned and the people that didn't.
Right.
The individuals that didn't plan or didn't really have much to their name. They were living paycheck to paycheck, getting Social Security, which was $1,200 a month, and they were having to, live on a fixed income. And then there was others that had investments. They had all these. They had portfolios. They had things that were of value that they can live off of, and they can live a much different life. Very, very two different lives. And so I was like, oh yeah, I want to be over here.
Yeah.
And so I have the entrepreneurial spirit in the background, and I'm like, well, what can I actually leave behind to my daughter? What is something that I could use to, leave a legacy? And so along with an insurance policy that I got for me, and then I also bought an insurance policy for her, which I think is a strategic play to actually leave a legacy. Okay. If you're trying to leave a legacy, start with, when you're gone, what are you leaving behind?
Yeah.
And so I got one for me, which is going to, in turn, if I pass early or, when I pass, my fiance and or my daughter is going to be the beneficiaries of that. Now, I got one for my daughter with the idea of, okay, she's going to outlive me.
Yeah.
And when she becomes of age, I can transfer the ownership of her policy to her name.
Yeah.
And then she can leave that to her kids.
Smart. Very, very smart.
That's a legacy, brother.
Very smart.
What am I really leaving behind? And I'm paying, and the way that I set it up is I got the 10-year paid up policy. So I'm going to pay hers for 10 years and not have to worry about it anymore.
Yeah.
And so with insurance policies, you can also get them to where they have a cash value accumulation. And so year after year, they're attached to the S&P 500. It goes up 10% on a yearly basis. That money continues to compound, and she'll have far more of value of that policy than than I have now. So it compounds. And so I'm like, oh yeah, this is a good system I'm setting up. I'm also now saving money on a biweekly basis to leave something, or at least set her up for college and things like that.
Right.
And then the next thing was like, okay, what's something physical that I can leave behind?
Yeah.
That she can pick up and be like, oh wow, this is something my dad created or left behind for me, or left behind for our family. And I was like, a book. And I've always kind of wanted to be an author at some point. You know, I've read books when I was younger. I was like so intrigued about the storytelling aspect of it. I'm like, or write me a book.
Yeah.
Man, and I always tell this story. I was like, I was living in me and my fiance, we took a step back, got out of the city. We went to Florida. We were staying with her father. It's kind of like an ego hit for me, but it was something that we had to do to save money.
Yeah.
I paid off my car,
Yeah.
different things that, was valuable for our growth. And I was looking in the rearview mirror. I was like, I'm going to write a book about my daughter.
Yeah.
And so I was like, what do I want it to be about? And I was like, maybe I can tell a story to new fathers about how to leave a legacy and how to build a strong, solid family foundation.
Right.
And so A Dad She Deserves, A Father's Guide to Love and Legacy was born. And
An amazing title.
yeah, that's what I appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you. I think that's like such a golden title, and it's so timeless,
Yeah.
A Dad She Deserves, A Father's Guide to Love and Legacy. And I'm like, this is it. And so I used my resources. I was like, I have an idea for a cover. I want it to be like a dad, crowning his princess or crowning his future queen.
Yeah.
She's young now, but I want to grow and build her to be, a queen of my kingdom and or of her own.
Yeah. And they can kind of see it behind you on the book on the show, but I'm gonna make sure I get a picture of it so I can show that when I launch this episode. That's a powerful title. Yeah. The picture on the front, that's why I want people to see it. That's why I'm gonna post it. Like just the picture itself tells you everything that you need to know about what's inside of that book. So I love that. I love that. So how did becoming a father change you as a man?
Man, it really made me dial into what is important, where I should be focusing my attention and my time. When I told you all those different things that I did for businesses and doing all these things, like I was also working jobs.
Yeah.
Working 2 jobs at sometimes. I worked 3 jobs at one point and still also trying to sell t-shirts and then still making rugs. And, I spread myself thin a lot of different times.
Yeah.
And like now that I'm older and more mature, I have a family now, my time is valuable.
Yeah.
And I'm now starting to put a price on that time, and I still work, a 9-to-5, but now I'm getting paid more for the work that I'm putting in. And then I'm also trying to scale that. And then not only that, but I'm also creating different ways of doing business that could really like amplify my time per hour, my money per hour.
Yeah.
So now that I'm a dad, my time is limited, but I still have to produce.
Yeah.
And so it's definitely changed my mindset, my perspective, the way that I think about the things that I do.
Yeah. And I love it, man, because as men, we have to be productive. Yeah. And similar to you, I also work a 9-to-5 as well. And, as men, we understand that nobody's coming to save us. We have to be productive, whatever it takes. If it's having multiple ventures and working a 9-to-5 like we both do, it takes what it takes.
You got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, but I think that the reason why I respect you so much is that you're not looking for any handouts. You're willing to put in the work and do what it takes.
Yes, sir.
And that's what I pride myself on too. So I do believe that men like us, we're going to get there.
Man,
it's
just a matter of time.
It's a matter of time. If it was easy, everyone would be successful.
Yes, sir.
So we enjoy the fact that it is difficult, that it is hard, because we know once we get there, there's not going to be a lot of people there.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what makes it special.
Mm-hmm. I love getting in rooms with men like you, brother, because it really reinforces that I'm on the right track, that I'm in the right spaces, because like, man, I've been in places where I'm like, I need to get up out of here.
Yeah. But sometimes you need another guy to see what you're doing and tell you, bro, you're on the right track.
Yeah.
A lot of times as men, we don't get the verbal feedback, especially on the way up, that would be nice to get sometimes.
No, I'm going to tell you, I feel like you're on the right track as well. I seen what you were doing. I'm like, and I immediately hit you up. I'm like, bro, I want to get on your podcast. Let's chop it up.
Yeah.
And like, there was no other words that needed to be said. Like, I want to get in here and I want to have this opportunity.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you for even inviting me on.
For sure, man. For sure. Because I think as men, when we're looking at all the men out there, we see a lot of guys that are giving up, that are lazy. But when we see guys like ourselves, it's that mutual respect where it's like, let's definitely link up. Do you think men today are underprepared for fatherhood?
Yes. It depends.
Mhm.
I think your upbringing definitely could play a factor in that, but also life is so much different than what our parents had
For sure.
when they were coming up.
For sure.
So you have to put in the time to do the research. You have to be willing to, not always have the answers.
Mhm.
So I can definitely feel for those that feel like, oh man, I don't know what I'm gonna do or what the next step is. I was there, and that's why I created the book. I would talk about that a lot. It's like I didn't really know. But me and my fiance definitely put in the time to do the research. She was, these women, man, she sent me 20, 30 videos a day on what I should be doing as a father. So, I say I'm doing the research, but she's doing the research. She sent it to me.
Yeah.
Now, I definitely did my own research, reading books and things that were were very useful in my mindset.
Mhm.
Because I think that's also important. Is like you have to know that you can handle anything, brother.
Yeah.
Like get in and do it. And you don't. No one's coming to save you. So what's gonna be your next move? Make your next move your best move.
Right.
Right,
for sure. So some men don't want kids. What are those guys missing out on?
Oh man, I think since I had a daughter, it's definitely made me realize how important that unconditional love is, because I can have the worst day at work. It can be hot outside. I can be miserable. I can be in an argument with my girl. But the moment my daughter like smiles, looks up at me, she has like little light brown eyes and colored eyes, and she looks up at me, I'm like, I'm good. Like,
Yeah.
life is good. It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
I give her a hug and like I could talk to her. I could be in an argument with my girl and then be like so soft with my girl,
Right.
with my baby,
Yeah.
and then like you need to chill, like stop that, and then like, yeah. So what did you need? You want a fruit snack?
Yeah.
And it's just it has like helped me really like it has helped me like really get more in tune with my emotional side, my emotional intelligence, because like I talk about this sometimes too. Like I was an asshole at some points in my life where it's like, yeah, I don't care about your feelings.
Yeah.
But I can't really be like that with my daughter. Sometimes I have to be a little stern with her because she'll give her an inch, she's gonna take a mile.
Yeah.
So you kind of you find the balance,
Yeah.
but like like the emotional intelligence part is super important for me.
And how old is she?
She's 2.5.
2.5?
Yeah, she turns 3 in June.
And I can only imagine, like, your daughter probably sees you like Superman.
Yeah.
Like when you come home.
She's like, you're such a good man.
Wow.
My fiance's like, where'd you get that, bro? Daddy, you're such a good man. I'm like, oh, thank you, baby.
I love that. I love that. So, what traits should men prioritize in a woman that they want to be the mother of their kids?
That's a good one. It's a good question. I think you find someone that is going to complement the things that you may not have in yourself, or you can also find a woman that also shares the same values and interests. I think that's where I was like, this woman can be the woman of my child, because she exemplifies a lot of the values that I love and I take pride in myself in, or that I want to embody more of. And so you find a woman that is going to complement those things, and one that's going to also challenge you in ways that you didn't know you needed. Like, my lady's really good at like holding me accountable. If I say I'm going to do something, like, she's going to double down on it,
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and that is something that I was kind of hard on myself about, just being a man. Like, hey, I'm going to say, because I have to be on her too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you say you're going to do something, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't fuck around. Don't play. Like, let's do what we say, because that at the end of the day, that's what we have, is our word. So,
right. I like that.
action, shit. Do the things.
I like it. What's something about being a father that people don't talk about enough?
Mm. Besides the fact that you're building something that's going to outlast you, um, as a father, you have to be a leader of not just yourself anymore. Because you can have a girlfriend, but like at the end of the day, it's you and then your girlfriend, until you guys get married and become one and become that union, like you still have the option to just be like, hey,
Right.
I'm good without you.
Right.
So, but when you become a father, the man of your household, you are now responsible for not just yourself, but your family. And that holds a different type of weight than you just being, willy-nilly.
Yeah.
I can have a job today and then, shack up. I don't have a job
Yeah.
the next day. But nah, man, I need that money coming in because I have a family.
Yeah.
We got bills that we need to pay. So
Yeah.
like, yeah, it kind of changes that mindset.
Do you feel like you've become more driven or more disciplined since you've had a family, or have you just always been that way?
I think I've kind of already embodied that going into my family.
Mm.
However, it just looks different now because for me, for like when you first asked it, I was like thinking about like the time that I was able to like go and be at the gym and like handle different things,
Yeah.
have business conversations that last an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours long,
Yeah.
whatever, and all these things. But now it's like I have to be very selective with where I put my energy.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yeah, it's definitely changed.
In your opinion, what are the characteristics that makes a great father? And is it more important to provide financially or emotionally to your
Mm.
daughter?
Um, when your baby's young, the emotional aspect is the most important thing because your energy is going to set the tone for how the environment of the house is going to be.
Yeah.
Now, the financial part, I think it's important for me to make way more money now that she's, getting older because she's going to need a quality of life
Mhm.
that produces valuable people.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't skip out on the fact that she needs good food.
Yeah.
She needs to be living in a for me, she needs to be living in a nice area.
Yeah.
Have valuable people around her. We have her in a preschool now.
Mm-hmm.
And the preschool that she's going to is connected to UNLV, my college. I actually go there. I drop her off and then I go to class.
Okay.
And I actually like it.
Yeah.
They're accredited and they have all these different things that they do. And so like a lot of parents now, me and my fiance, we're looking at Montessori schools and things like that. Those are expensive.
Yeah.
And it's a little bit out of my tax bracket right now, but I'd love to have her in a private school learning about different things. And
Right.
but I also want to and think it's important to get her into extracurricular activities.
Sure.
Like we had her in swim when she was damn near 3 months old.
Uh-huh.
And so that costs, but my next step is getting her into gymnastics, and I want to get her probably into some jujitsu. She loves to like wrestle and be like rough play a little bit. So I'm like, like let's put you in jujitsu early, get you so the techniques, and you like. I did a couple months of jujitsu training and Muay Thai, but I want to get her involved in that, and it'll probably help me get back into it.
Right.
So.
Right.
But all these things take money.
Yeah.
So, so that's definitely important too,
For sure. What's one value that you refuse to let your daughter grow up without?
What's one value that I refuse to let my daughter grow up without? The value of I really like how we talked about doing what you say,
Yeah.
saying what you do and doing what you say. And also the value of caring for other people, the value of education.
Mm-hmm.
I want her to realize like school is going to be important, and to do the extracurricular activities, you need to have your school work in school. You need to excel at that.
Yeah.
As well as the extra stuff. So, I want to be able to keep my daughter busy so that she's not getting into all the outside world, And so like, I want her to value. I also want her to value quality relationships, because I think nowadays it's so easy to kind of like dismiss, the value of a good friend or
For
the
sure.
value of a good family member. And I see it a lot with women. They're so quick to like throw away friends.
Yeah.
Or like move on to the next person so quick. And I'm like why? Like why don't you just why don't you drop your ego and like, have that conversation? Or like, and they always want to be upset behind closed doors rather than. And I'm not saying this is for all women, but this is a thing that I see.
They handle conflict differently than men do.
Yeah,
for sure.
Definitely different. And I'm like, I want her just to value that, because I also know women that have had friends, long life friends, and can lean on someone, so.
Do you think social media is helping men be better fathers or hurting them?
That's a good question. I think there's a lot of information out there, and you can use social media as a tool or you can use it as a distraction.
Yeah.
So like, I see myself as using social media as a tool, and I've definitely learned a lot from seeing other perspectives, and I think it has helped me. And I think there's a lot of stuff out there that you could definitely be distracted by that could hinder the time that you spend with your family. You're so worried about doing this and doing that, the next post, and you're not putting the time and energy into your family, or
Right.
you're not putting the time and energy into your fiance or your wife. And so like, yes, you can definitely get the repercussions of and the downfalls of social media, but a real man is going to take the tool of social media and use it to his advantage to help his family.
Absolutely. And I totally agree with that. Social media can be a blessing or a curse depending on how you use it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the people that make it a blessing, those are the ones that are going to be the most successful. So
Real shit.
Okay, well, one last question. If you could give advice to all the fathers out there,
Yeah.
especially fathers that maybe are expecting kids or young fathers, what's the advice that you'd want to share with them?
Think long term. Think long term and make your plan and execute it, because a lot of us let life happen to us rather than us taking life by the balls and like handling business.
Love that.
So,
Love that.
as a young man, even if you're like, because when I was writing this too, I was like, I had my daughter, I was 27. I was like, man, there's 22-year-olds having kids, there's 21-year-olds. I know, like I had coached a kid, he was 20, he was 19 or something like that, having kids. And it's like, I know you're going through it.
Yeah.
I know you're stressed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it is what it is now, bro. What are you going to do?
Yeah.
And my advice is make your plan, execute it. You need to get a job. Okay, boom. Get something that's going to pay you. But think long term. How is this job going to look on me in 20 years? How is this going to get me to the next 5 years of my life?
Mm-hmm.
And where do I want my family to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 20? And have those ideas, write them down, and make moves. And like, another thing that I like to tell a lot of younger guys is write things down. Like, I spent, I don't know where I learned this from, but there would be times where I'd have just folders folders of different ideas. I would watch a YouTube video. I watch an hour YouTube video, and I take notes on it.
Yeah.
Like write things down that I'm like, oh, I can use this later,
Yeah.
or I can implement this in something that I'm doing like next week or something, you know?
Yeah.
And like I would take notes. And then there was times where I'm just like, I had a random idea. I'm like, oh, this is genius. Like if I'm not going to act on it right then and there, let me write it down. Let me start writing. And then there's times where I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, I don't know what to do. Let me write.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, I feel like these things have helped me. Oh, and then also I'd create a list on Sunday. Like this week, I want to win the week.
Yeah.
Let me write a list of all the things that I need to accomplish in this upcoming week. And bro, I wrote a list that I want to get done for the week. Wake up on Monday and get the whole list done.
Yeah.
I have 2 more things done that I need to accomplish. Now I need to make a new list on Monday for Tuesday and Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Right.
And so like things that you feel like are so far out start becoming real shorter when you start really writing it down, seeing it visually. It becomes that much more clear.
Yeah.
So there's a couple things.
I love that, man. And going back to what you said earlier, I think there's so many people out here just lackadaisically just going through life. Like whichever way the wind blows, that's where they go. You have to live life. You can't let life live you.
Facts.
And I think that most successful people or aspirational people realize that. And so they are inflicting their will on life.
Mm-hmm.
They're making things happen.
And it'll move out your way.
Yeah.
You start moving towards something and bet the universe start moving around you and sending things into your existence that will help you along the way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love it, man. So before we get out of here, if someone wants to work with you, how do they get in touch with you? And if someone wants to buy your book, how do they buy the book?
Oh, you can buy the book on Amazon. It's available on Amazon. It's available on TikTok Shop as well. You can find me at @She Deserves. And I'm posting a lot of content on there right now. I've been doing different podcast interviews with fathers to kind of like open up that dialogue of what is the new age of a young dad look like?
Yeah.
What are the things that we're going through? So like I've had some guys on there that are co-parenting. You know, it didn't really work out with their lady. I got guys that are married and still having these daily struggles of like trying to figure it out, providing, and what does that look like? And like we all kind of like drop our perspectives, and I'm dropping clips on social media, but you can also follow my personal page at adammiles.mov. And yeah, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. You can also buy the book on Amazon. It's at She Deserves, the hardcover. You can buy the paperback. And yeah.
Awesome. I'll make sure I have all your links tagged when I post this, man. But no, awesome conversation.
Yeah, brother.
Appreciate you coming in. Anything else you want to get out there before we get off?
Yeah. Can you give me a rundown of the wines, brother?
Yeah. So basically with me, man, I went to college at Arizona State.
Okay.
First semester, everybody is out there drinking, right? I wasn't really a drinker, so I'm like, okay, cool. Let me see what else out here. I tried beer, tried vodka, tried tequila. Everything tasted terrible.
Yeah.
And I was going to these parties. I was looking around, like everyone's having a great time except for me. So I couldn't really find that drink, right? So I told my mom, hey, I'm not really a drinker. It's not really my thing. Mom actually told me, like, it's important that you find a drink because it's going to help you be social. It's going to help you meet people. So this is important. You need to find something that you like.
Okay.
And I took that to heart. I stumbled across wine. I started drinking like really cheap, acidic wines. They gave me headaches. But I liked the taste though. So then I kind of transitioned to like more expensive, full-bodied wines. Mm-hmm. Had a heavy aftertaste. Not really my thing, right? So I couldn't really find that perfect wine. So I was like, man, I drink so much of it. Let's try and make my own, Mm-hmm. So after years and years of trying to like get the right combination, the right formula, we were able to get it right. I had the Cabernet first. It has notes of blackberry, cinnamon, plum, nutmeg, and French vanilla.
Fire.
So medium-bodied wine, as a guy that's health conscious too, I wanted to make sure it was lower in sugar and lower in calories than like the mass-produced wines that people get at bars and at the grocery stores.
Yeah.
So that was my first one. I got a rosé now. It's going to be a light pink rosé with soda, strawberry, and raspberry flavor. But that's more like if you like white wine or if you like rosé, you can get into that too. So yeah, those are my first two. Continuing to build, just taking it day by day, man. I'm an engineer during the day too.
Okay.
So like just like you, man, still got my 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Still grinding on the side, and then we'll see where it goes. But we're gonna keep working until we.
One last question. So where do you see yourself in like 3 to 5 years? Or like where do you see the wine business? So you want to be in the grocery store, or are you like?
So if the right opportunity presents itself, I would love to be at the more high end spots. I love
Sprouts.
to be that. But I'm
Whole
talking
Foods.
like even like at the bars or restaurants inside like the Wynn, inside like
I
Cosmo.
I love that.
Yeah, because that's kind of like what my brand, is more synonymous with my brand, right? It's definitely not the cheapest wine, but that's not who I'm trying to attract. I want people to understand this is a quality product, along with a quality brand. That's why it's called elite level status, right? So ideally, I'm going to keep working to that. But if that opportunity doesn't come up, I love the idea of just selling direct to consumer like I do now, building that relationship with my customers and continuing to serve my customers, right?
Yeah.
So it's more of a passion project that has turned into a full-on business.
Nice.
But then I have other things, just like this podcast, man. This is a great way. It is a business, I'm not going to lie, but it does allow me to network and meet people like yourself that I otherwise probably would have never met.
Right.
So I'm building a conglomerate with the wine, with the podcast, with some of my other
ecosystem,
other products. Yeah. And I want to build a network of high achieving, aspirational people that are striving to get the most out of life. Like we said, they are living their lives. They're not letting life live them.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have some on hand? Can I buy some?
Oh yeah. I got you after the show for sure.
And I want to gift you a hat because I see you doing your thing. This is bag season.
Awesome, man. I appreciate you.
Bag season is the act of being in your own world, focused, in control, on your grind, and in your own lane.
I love it.
Like you exemplify that. And this is also one of our tags. You put it on the backpack.
Come in here, giving gifts.
I
appreciate it. Anytime you want to come back on, bro, let me know, man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
So I appreciate you. That is a token of my appreciation. I think I love this. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate you, Scott.
Yeah, Scott.
Scott, you're the man. Appreciate you for having us.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
Awesome, man. Cool. Appreciate you too. Elite Level Status Podcast. I'm your host, Will Scott. We'll see you guys next time.